What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap?
Welcome back to another edition of Christmas 365. Hope you guys are really enjoying these short devotionals. This morning's devotion, I want us to take a look at this tree behind me. This tree that is not decorated, it doesn't have any lights on it, it's just a tree. And it's dark, and it has the appearance of life, but yet it's missing so much of the joy of Christmas time and the decoration of Christmas time. Kind of like our lives, we live in a world that is so dark, and our lives without Christ are dark and meaningless and just kind of drab, undecorated, unlit, and unattractive. And we take a look at Christmas time and we see all of the decoration and all of the lights, and we ask ourselves, well, what if we didn't have Christ? Our life would be dark, drab, and bleak. For those of us that do know Christ and do know the power of His resurrection, we know our life doesn't look like this, but maybe more like this. Light, lit up. Imagine our lives lit up like this Christmas tree. It's funny because Jesus says that He is the light that has come in to a dark world. Listen to John chapter 8. Jesus is encountering some Pharisees and is testifying of who He is, and they are not believing His testimony. Listen to what He says. It says, when Jesus spoke again to the people, He said, I am the light of the world, and whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. We think that simply because we are living that we have life, but we don't. We just simply exist. Jesus says that He is the life. So if we don't have Christ, guess what? We don't have life. We're zombies. We're walking dead. And yet, Jesus says that He is the light that came into the world. John chapter 3 tells us that when Jesus is the light that came into the world, but the world didn't want the light. They wanted darkness. Yet Jesus still chose to give His life, to light up the darkness. You see, because a baby was born in a manger, because God decided to become flesh and live amongst us, why we celebrate Christmas, we have light in the midst of a dark world. Not only do we have light, but we become light. We become light in the midst of a dark world. We become the Christ to the dark world. We become all that is wrong with the world. We become what is right. We light up what was once a drab and dark and bleak existence with the light of Christ. All because a baby was born. All because in a manger, God decided to become flesh. He decided to dwell amongst us. He decided to be tempted in every way that we were tempted. And not only that, but He decided to take our punishment upon Himself, our sin. He became. And He took it to the cross. And when He was resurrected, He gave us His life. It's not your life anymore, disciple. We don't celebrate Christmas because we have good lives or because we have bad lives, because we have a lot or because we have little. We celebrate Christmas because we have Christ. And that is something that we can celebrate 365 days a year. If we're not celebrating it 365 days a year, then we don't understand why He came. He came that we might have life and light life more abundantly, and light in the darkness. That when we walk and where we walk, when we walk into darkness, it can no longer be dark. Because when we walk with Christ, we are light. And darkness has to flee. It's Christmas. Every time you walk into a dimly lit room and you see the light of a tree or of decoration, remember that Christ is the light. And that He has enabled you to be the light. 365 days a year. God bless you and Merry Christmas.
The